Hello students, welcome to CrackGradeB online learning platform. So today we have special guest with us, Mr. Swagat Panda. So first of all, Swagat, many congratulations for clearing SEBI Grade A exam
Thank you,
in
sir.
your first attempt.
Yes, sir.
And being a non-commerce background candidate.
Yes, thank you so much, sir.
So I would like to share the profile of Swagat. He has completed B.Tech in Electronics and Communication from NIT Rourkela. It was his first attempt in SEBI Grade A, and he was preparing for UPSC. So, Swagat, our followers or our viewers would like to know your strategy. How did you start from starting? And being a UPSC aspirants, we have seen that most of the UPSC aspirant target RBI Grade B, NABARD. They are means syllabus overlap with the UPSC preparation. Then why you choose SEBI Grade A?
Yes, sir. Sir, so I gave my last UPSC attempt in 2023. So I couldn't clear the prelims. Thereafter, I was at crossroads. So I wanted to pursue these regulatory body examinations. From where I heard that SEBI was the first exam which was going to be held in January. Then it was shifted, and then there were elections, so it was shifted. So I kind of focused on SEBI because I was very much interested in economics, and the syllabus of SEBI and these topics were of much interest to me. And I was also preparing for IFSCA along with SEBI because both had a course overlap, and it was a great experience. So I was also waiting for the EPFO interview, so which I had cleared back in July 2023, and I was waiting for that, and I was preparing for this also as my second option.
And in IFSCA, up to what stage you reached?
Sir, I couldn't clear the phase two. I was qualified phase one, and I couldn't clear the phase two.
Okay. So for this year exam happened in means very late due to election.
Yes, sir.
Notification was in March. So when did
Yes,
you
sir.
start your journey for the SEBI Grade A? What was your source of preparations?
Yes, sir. During December 2023, decided to pursue regulatory body examinations because these were great examinations with great power, and I was much attracted to them. And I thought that as due to elections, as you said, the exams were being shifted. So there was a constant tussle because I was waiting for EPFO interview and this SEBI exam and then IFSCA. All of them were on concurrent examinations. So I had to constantly shuffle my preparation between these three based on the updated information that I had, that which exam was going to come first. But as I said, SEBI was a great field of interest for me because the economics and finance part was very much interesting for me. So I started preparing it, giving half a day since January, I guess. So since January, I started preparing. I was following I was reading about commerce and accountancy, which is a huge part of SEBI examination, and it is the most difficult subject. So I used to see some video lectures and also read from your PDF course, which gave me clarity about the concepts that I couldn't understand. And side by side, I started making short notes on these topics on OneNote. So it was easy to carry the online notes and revise quickly. And from commerce accountancy, I started then preparing for next topic, the costing and other topics simultaneously.
If we talk about the previous year paper, they were full of numericals.
Yes, sir.
So this time also students were expecting that paper will be in similar terms, but number of questions were increased. So what was your strategy to tackle the numerical portion, and also you had to cram a lot of facts because these
Yes, sir.
regulatory body papers are a little bit different from the UPSC. Here you
Yes,
have
sir.
to cram the facts, data, and all these things.
Yes,
So
sir.
what was your strategy to tackle both numericals and to cram the facts as well? Or you focus more on the factual part rather than the numerical part?
Yes, sir. So about that, sir, I saw the 2022 previous year paper, also 2020. As the pattern changes, we saw that 2020 there were many numericals and they were of very high level. So I started focusing my preparation along those lines. We saw that the pattern was changed for this year. and the timing was initially intimated. The number of questions were not. So there were 90 minutes, and we were not aware that there would be 100 questions. We came to know at just 1 or 2 weeks before the phase 2 examination. So I naturally assumed that the level of questions would be too high this year. So I started preparing numericals. But the thing with me is that I always focused on understanding the concepts rather than cramming all of them. So commerce, accountancy, costing, these were very conceptual topics. So if you could understand them, you could enjoy doing the numericals, and you could easily simplify and solve the numericals. The topic that required most cramming was company law, I would say, because the sections, there were no such regular way to remember them. So I used to make some certain diagrams, such as for example, the dividend payment policy of the company. So for each of the line, I would draw a straight line, and I would make here there is the declaration of dividend. Then after these much days, there will be this distribution deposit into the bank account. Then it will be distributed to the persons, individuals, or shareholders. So I used to create certain diagrams, so which could help me remember these facts easily. And for figures, I used to try to remember certain around ballpark figures, so I could go out around with it. For finance and management, sir, I was very much interested in finance. So I started following the stock markets from 2020. So I generally knew certain concepts already. So finance was a very easy topic for me.
Also, Companies Act, a lot
Yes.
of factual information is there only. And
Yes, sir.
questions were asked in the exam also on similar nature, facts
Yes, sir.
database. I think 16, 17 question alone from the Companies Act were
Yes,
asked
sir.
in the paper.
Yes,
So
sir.
what was your strategy to cram such a number of facts in Companies Act specifically?
Yes, sir. Sir, so the best guide for regulatory body exams, I would say, are the previous year question papers, because you could see a pattern emerge from them if you could analyze the papers. So in the first year, in 2018 or 2020, there were a lot of questions from auditors chapter, and then there were from dividend declaration policy, and certain chapters like chapter 10 and chapter 11 and chapter 3 and 4 are particularly very much important. So I focused on these chapters mostly, and I revised them. Initially, I read them. I just gave a single reading, and nearing the exam, I started revising my crisp notes, the diagrams that I had made, the facts and figures, the ballpark figures that I could make, so that and even the fines and the fines amounts was a challenge to remember. So for that, you could you could find a logical reasoning that for individuals it would be a lower amount, for the companies it would be higher amount. So you could guess from the options that which would be the correct one if you had a sort of idea of a mental image of the section from where these fines were coming. So that was a nice part about
So
it.
being a full-time aspirant, so how much hours you were spending on your preparation? What was your routine, daily routine?
Yes, sir. So, sir, after 2023, I started, as I said, I started in December 2023. So for that, I divided my day into two parts. So basically, I was targeting the two first exams which would be done. So initially I was thinking that EOO interview would be done, but it was done quite late in December. So I wasn't aware of it. So I used to read half of the day for EOO, EPFO, and labor laws and industrial relations. And for the other half, I would start with SEBI, the course part. Particularly, I focused on paper two, because paper one part was quite easy for me, and I was very confident that I could clear the cutoff. So I started reading from commerce and accountancy. And as I completed this subject, I started then with costing, and then finance and management. Then company law was, deliberately kept company law at the end, because it was a cram. We had to cram a lot of facts, and I would forget if I studied it earlier. So yes, this was my strategy. And nearing the exam, as the phase one exam was on July 27th. So we got the confirmation around June starting or May end. So from that time onwards, I saw that no, I would focus on SEBI, because it's a great job and it is an field of interest for me. So I knew that I would be happy pursuing this career. So I started full time reading for the SEBI full time. From morning, I would start with commerce and accountancy, because it's the largest part. I would solve some numericals. during the afternoon, I would go for try to read the finance and management, because finance was my favorite subject, and it would kindly less burden. It would be a less burden for me to read it. And in the evening, I would try again to go for the management part, because management is a highly scoring subject for all the regulatory body exams, and it can make or break your selection. So the content-based theories, the process-based theories, all these are quite interesting if you could, associate it with some real-life example. If you could imagine yourself in those positions, suppose the Bloom's expectancy theory, it tells that it's effort and instrumentality and their valence. So if you could take it in as your situation, like if I would put in effort, do I have the control over the situation? Would I put in more effort? Would I be successful? So if I know all these facts, I could also put in more effort. So if you could relate it some real life examples, it would be great to learn about it and remember all this.
Okay, and you appeared in this exam, you have seen that. And we also analyzed that in the previous year, they have asked the questions numerical from mainly ICI, ICMI books.
Yes, sir.
So many students, what they will do, they will start studying from the ICI, ICMI books and Companies Act website.
Yes, sir.
Companies Act from the Ministry of Corporate
Ministry of
Affairs.
Corporate.
So
Yes,
did
sir.
you follow that strategy, or you relied on the courses which you were using?
Yes, sir. Sir, I solely focused on the coaching materials because these were targeted, and there was no clutter because it was targeted towards SEBI examination, and all the extra part was cut off. So I could only study this. And for numericals also, I saw your top 100 MCQs and all that. There were concepts about the numericals. So solving from there, I could know the concept. And if in exam any numerical came, it would be of similar nature or from the same concept, just the data would be different. So I was quite confident that I could solve. So, but during the last 2 weeks, I saw that the pattern was changed and it was 100 marks. So I was quite happy because I thought that, yes, so if there are 100 marks, the question level would be same as 2022. So yes, I had prepared well and I can do well.
Yeah, it is true that if you will do the analysis, and what is the main reason behind our top 100 matching with the final exam questions? We have done the analysis, and IBPS have a habit. They will
Yes, sir.
ask the similar nature of questions. They will change
Yes,
the value, or they will ask the question related to the question asked in the previous year. So
yes,
if someone will do the analysis of the PYQs, he or she can easily get what type of questions they are going to ask.
yes, sir.
Generally in every exam, we
Yes,
must
sir.
do the analysis of the PYQs. That is the most important thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We saw. I even saw the after RBI exam and NABARD exam also. You had posted so many questions were from or
Yes, yes.
from this year top 100, or they were very much similar. So I was quite amazed that yes. So these questions are good.
Yes, that is the only reason we are doing the
Yes, sir.
analysis based on the PYQs only. We are providing those top 100.
Yes, sir.
And anyone can do that. It is
Yes,
not
sir. Yes, sir.
difficult.
Yes, sir. It's very easy, sir, and there's detailed solution, so it's quite easy.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes. So Swagat, you did BTech in 21,
Yes, sir.
and from a good college. NIT Rourkela is a good college. You you were placed in the Reliance U, as you told. Uh,
Yes, sir.
so why did not you choose that career, and what was the reason to switch to UPSC preparation? And during the UPSC preparation, how many attempts you were given, and that what was the reason you switched? You thought of switching the career?
Yes, sir. So, sir, I was very much interested in appearing for UPSC from my college days. So, during NIT Rourkela, I always had it in my back of the mind that I would go for UPSC. And just as my graduation ended, I was offered a position at Reliance Jio. I received the offer letter, but I declined the offer because I wanted to prepare full time for UPSC and I wanted to give it my best. So during the 2021, there was COVID. So as you are aware, so I couldn't prepare very well from home. So the first attempt was not very good. And in the second attempt, I shifted to Delhi, where I was there. I was preparing with a coaching institute and I was studying materials from the market. But yeah, so, but sadly, I couldn't clear that year either. So that gave me a direction that it was a moment of reflection for me. So I wanted to see like, am I so much into UPSC that I want to give hold my life to this examination, or should I choose another? Should I have a plan B? So with introspection, I saw that the finance was a great field. So I started investing during COVID, and I regularly used to follow the stock markets. Even though I stopped investing and I started investing in mutual funds, but I always followed the economics and the news from the about the finance field. And during UPSC also, I was most interested in economics as a subject. So naturally, during November and December, I discovered that in between regulatory bodies, SEBI was the regulator of the capital markets. So, and I was not even aware that there was a recruitment process for this examination also. So, yeah, so I came across it. I saw that they had the last recruitment 2022, and you were also making videos that yes, there's a chance that there will be an exam in 2024, and it would be the first one in December or January. So I thought that, yeah, it's a great career option. I started exploring about it, and I knew about the works and profile and career prospects. And I was much attracted to do it because even if I clear UPSC, there is a chance that I may be allocated one among the 24 services or 25 services that are offered. But this is a very much field of interest for me, and I can focus all my energy on learning and developing myself in this specialized field. So I chose SEBI over
I
others.
think that's a good decision because many students
Yes,
we have seen that spent 4, 5, 6 years in the UPSC. Then
yes,
there is no energy left
yes, sir.
to target
So,
other exams, and sometimes they have crossed the age limit also.
yes,
Also,
sir.
many students are not aware about these regulatory body exams in
Yes,
the.
sir. That's a big issue, sir.
So,
Also, sir, we
Swagat,
don't say the negative
yes,
part of the people. 99.9% people don't clear UPSC. So it's and also going back to the parent cadre, like from the engineering subject, it's quite difficult if you
yes, yes.
seriously prepare for UPSC. Yes,
So, Swagat, also we have observed that many students spend a lot of time on the social media while their preparation, Telegram or mainly
yes,
Telegram and YouTube. YouTube can be used for the good purpose as video
yes, sir.
lectures are there. But Telegram, we have seen that searching material from one institute,
In
like
one
other
issue, yes, sir.
institute, and all. So, did you follow that, or you? If you did not follow that, what was the reason? And how did you keep yourself away from such things?
Yes, sir. So after my graduation, sir, I was cut off from the world because I didn't even talk to my friends or there was no one. I just used to call my home and talk to my mother and father. That's it. So I used YouTube, but I only used to subscribe to the channels of the coaching institutes and from the past aspirants who have made videos on SEBI and who have cleared that. So I used to subscribe to the channel and only watch those videos. So it's the algorithm automatically picks up what you are interested in watching and it shows more videos about that. So I also had put time limits on the YouTube and WhatsApp every day. So I could control myself. And in WhatsApp, I was just, I was not even on WhatsApp for 2 years during my UPSC preparations. And in Telegram, I used to follow the coaching materials, I mean, the coaching institute's Telegram channels, because I could get the updates, which exams are coming, when are they coming, and what are the strategy videos and all those things. And I blocked all others from the Telegram. So now I am connecting with my friends. So it was a very isolated phase for me, but finally I could talk to everyone, and it's a great sign.
And one more thing, generally students appear for other exams as well. Like RBI Grade B is the most preferred exam by
Yes.
even UPSC aspirant or other aspirants also over these other regulatory bodies. So why you did not choose RBI?
Yes, sir. So there are a couple of reasons. First of all, in RBI Grade B examination, it's a great examination, and I know that there's a very much high focus on current affairs. So we need to follow the current affairs from last 3 to 4 months, and most of the questions are from there. But I was not quite interested in reading again for current affairs because it's very vast field and very diverse topics can be asked from current affairs. Even in RBI Phase 2 this year, there were from planetary conventions and some questions which were very unexpected. So it was quite shocking for aspirants. So, but for SEBI, I saw that the syllabus is very bounded. they have given, it's a huge syllabus, it's no doubt, but the syllabus is quite bounded, and you could focus and study on this specialized field, and you could develop your skills in this. So I was quite attracted to SEBI over RBI, and even the dates were very close. The SEBI examination was, phase 2 was on August 31st, and RBI was on 7th September. So there was not much time to give RBI. So I decided to focus only on this examination, SEBI and IFSCA, because IFSCA had very much similar syllabus to SEBI, and for phase 1. And for SEBI also, sir, the studying this part is very much interesting for me, the finance and management and all those parts. So I focused on this, and even, sir, it would be very hilarious to say in SEBI phase 1, I didn't even open the GA section for SEBI phase 1 and also for IFSCA phase 1, because in paper 1, I only focused on logical reasoning and quants and English, and I cleared the cutoff. So I was quite unhappy with GA after UPSC preparation. So I stopped following current affairs, and I tried to go in the specialized knowledge field.
Okay, so Swagat, also you have appeared in this exam, and before that, 2 failed attempt in UPSC. There is always in mind when we have failed in some exam that if I get failed in this exam also, that what will happen, and there is a stress or fear of failure.
Yes.
How did you keep motivated yourself?
Sir, it's very difficult. I know I have seen failure twice, and I know it's quite difficult. But the thing is, we have to bounce back from failures. We have to see what are the other opportunities that we may have, and we have to self-analyze that the position or the goal that we have. Do we really want it at the end of the day, or there's something which is more suited to our appetite? For instance, for SEBI, I see that it's the capital market regulator, and it's completely focused on capital markets. So I'm also very much interested in the field of finance and economics, and it matches my interest field. And I could specialize in this, and I could be a specialist officer. I could enhance my knowledge. Even during my interview, they asked, why do we want to join SEBI? And this was my response, that I saw that being in regulatory body would give me an immense learning opportunity. And even if I would pursue a degree in MA or something in economics, it would be a bookish knowledge. But here I could get practical knowledge regulating the entities, and I could know about the new innovations that are coming in financial field. And plus, there is job stability, and it is the government job, and there's posting here. Plus, this job, this idea of cracking this examination and getting into this job would keep you motivated throughout the process. You just need to be consistent, and you just have to ensure that you study for at least 1 hour a day. And there would be bad days when you could not study. You would think that, oh, my friends are in MBA or they are going abroad and doing some degrees. But you have to keep faith in yourself, because if you don't do it for yourself, no one else would be doing it. And at the end of the day, you are going to be settled at one place or the other. You just have to believe in yourself.
Okay. And one more question I generally ask the candidates, that how did you come to know about us?
Sir, I would say that your coaching institute is the most trusted information on the would provide the most trusted information on the exam dates and exam patterns, all the latest developments in the examination field. So when I started my regulatory body preparation, I started watching the videos, and I saw that your predictions were always accurate. So I started following your coaching center, and I saw that your materials were very nice, and that's why I joined the SEBI phase 2 course from Europe, and also the IFSCA phase 2, both of them. And yeah, sadly I couldn't clear IFSCA, but SEBI phase 2 course was it was of great help, because I could understand the difficult questions, and I could also understand the concepts from here, and it was easy to make notes from written notes. So I could make crisp notes, so that one line of notes which I could revise at the end, and it would be a confidence boost before I go to exam.
Okay, thank you, Swagat. And now comes to the most important part, interview part. You were not having any financial economics degree, and only the
Yes.
UPSC preparation.
Yes, sir.
No certification, being a fresher candidate. There's always in mind, there is always in most of the fresher candidates thought that it will be very difficult for them to appear in the interview of SEBI or RBI. They don't have any certificate or from non-commerce, non-economics background.
Yes.
So, how did you prepare yourself, and what was your experience with the board?
Yes, sir. Sir, for interview preparation, I had my interviews on 9th December, and the interviews for SEBI started around 14th November. So I had a head start, so I had a much tough time. So I started doing NISM certifications. I did two of them on Securities Market Foundation and on mutual funds distributors, 5B. So both of these courses, I was able to score very high marks. So I was much confident that I could do good in interviews. Also, I had some prior experience in interview. Like I said, while joining Reliance Jio, I had a good experience in interviews. Also, I had cracked KVPI. During my 11th class. So there also I had to face a board. So I was quite confident about going into the interview. But I was not aware of my lacunas, such as I tended to speak very fast, and sometimes I used to, not maintain the eye contact. So all these were smaller things that Rahul sir was very happy to point out, and I rectified them during the interview preparation from your course. And so after that, the final D-Day came on 9th December. And people were very scared because at the end, everyone was like, the board is grilling everyone, and they're asking someone had even commented to one of the board members that, sir, your information is too outdated. I have the latest information. So it was kind of a confrontation. So, but I was quite confident. So I didn't read other interview transcripts. I was calm and composed. I had the first interview after lunch, post-lunch session. I was the first candidate to go on, and I had my interview for 45 to 50 minutes. So it was quite a long interview. So I entered the room,
Yeah.
and I approached it as a conversation because they are anyways going to ask you about and trying to know about you. So they only know about the PIF that I have filled in. So I know what they know about me. So I need to somehow project myself, the things that I want to show and the things I don't want. Starting only when I sat down, they started asking about. They didn't ask me to introduce myself. They started introduce your family and why are you coming to SEBI and you're from engineering background. So my parents are doctors, both are doctors. So they were like, your parents are doctors. You left medical. You came into engineering. Now from engineering you came into UPSC. Now you're coming into SEBI. What's your logical reasoning? Where are you going in life? So all these questions were there. Even they started grilling me on, EPC preparation and all the things that I learned in economics. There were questions on my state, my background. Like in Odisha, there was many chit fund scams. So they started asking, so how these scams are happening and what can SEBI do to prevent them? So I said, this is not something chit funds are under the regulation of state governments, which is not under the purview of SEBI. So these are not something that SEBI can directly regulate. But then they asked, so financial scams are happening in Odisha because these are backward regions and there is not much financial literacy. So what steps can you take, to reduce these scams and accept raising awareness? Because awareness is the education spreading. Education is the simplest thing. So accept that. What other things you can do? So this was a challenging question for me. Again, they asked me about SEBI regulations, what I am aware of. I said that some regulations on mutual funds and insider trading. They started asking me about what are the sensitive information, how insider trading happens. Even gave me a case study. Like if there's a fire in a factory, most of the goods are damaged, and in some other cases, someone has just made some clerical mistake. So which would be a sensitive information? How would these be covered under the SEBI regulations? So luckily, I had read some of the regulations which were important and which were pointed out by during the interview preparation course by Rahul sir. So I could quote some points from there. So which was good. And even they asked me about why do we want to join SEBI and all these things. So I tried to tell them that it would be a great learning opportunity. Also, I tell that SEBI is the last line of defense for the investors. And then the chairperson was quite amused. He said that no, we are not the last line of defense. We are the first line of attack. So everyone on the board was laughing on that. And so it was quite a chill environment up till that. Then they asked me about the agri commodities, the futures of agri commodities, how they are priced, because they had asked the same questions from the previous candidate before lunch, because his father was a farmer. He was telling us. So I heard that, and they also asked me this question. So I was able to tell them about the general pricing, like the intrinsic value and the time value, but I couldn't go into very specifics. So I said that no, sir, I am not aware. And there were some questions that I was not aware completely. So I started that I was not aware, sorry, sir. But it was going on very nice. Even the current affairs are a great part, major part of interview. There was one ma'am who started asking me what was the RBI monetary policy was conducted recently on 6th December. So they started asking what are the changes in RBI monetary policy. Name 3 changes. I told them 2, and the third one was regarding FCNR. So she was giving some hints like what was the change regarding foreign exchange. So I said that yeah, the RBI had removed the cap on FCNR interest rates. So she was like, why it is important? Why? What is the forex situation in India? And why do we need foreign index? Why is rupee declining against the dollar? What is the dollar index, and what currencies are part of it? So that was this part, and there was one another panel member who started focusing on my, the UPSC preparation. So he said that you have been in UPSC. So he started telling me that in 2019 there was an act on deposits. So could you please tell about it? So I was not aware. I told that, sir, I'm very sorry, I am not aware about it. So he started then telling me, questioning me about Gini index. What is Gini index? What is the status of inequality in India? What is the exact value of this index for India? So the questions were very diverse, and all of them were very excited to talk to me. Like the 2 or 3 of them would ask question at once, and I had to choose whom to answer, and it was a quite big interview. So yeah, but it was overall, I was not sure how it went because it was a mixed type, but ultimately seeing my name in the final result is a great happy moment for me.
So, Swagat, what would you like to advise to the future aspirants? From your preparation journey, you have so many learnings. So, what would you like to advise?
Sir, I would say that yes, believe in yourself, and whatever goal you are pursuing, it's good that you remain focused, but also kind of have a plan B or see the other alternatives that you can also pursue, which are of your caliber and which suit you basically, and you'll be happy in pursuing in your future. And for examinations, I would say that please refer to the previous year questions, be it UPSC, be it SEBI or regulatory bodies, because you would get the idea, and the questions are generally of the same type. And for preparations, I believe that you should focus on, you should stick to one study material or, for one coaching or something like that. So because it would give you a direction and you would just focus on that. And as you learn, you will, know many things, other things. From UPSC preparation, there were some questions which came in SEBI phase 2. So I was able to answer them from budget and all, which I had not specifically read or the data was not remember. So as time passes, you would gain experience and you would definitely crack one of the exam. But you just have to stay on the pitch.
Okay, so thank you, Swagat, for this wonderful session and for your insights from your preparation journey. So it will definitely help many aspirants because many have made that pressure cannot crack these exams, and they face a challenge in the interview also. So it will be a great learning for many aspirants. I mean, UPSC aspirants, those who are not aware of Plan B.
Yes.
So, and I wish you a good luck for your future journey.
Thank you, sir.
Swagat, and many congratulations again.
Thank you, sir. It was a pleasure, sir, talking to you.